One of the, I guess, the things that have affected me since this weight loss program is the amount of energy that I've started to build. It's no different than my swimming, where I can swim now. I've swam 3 times a mile, which is 72 lengths in the pool. I'm self-employed, and I work out of my house, but I do have an office that I can go to. And I used to sleep till 7:30, sometimes even 7:45, almost Monday through Friday. And I would say within the last 2 months, my wife would be up at probably 6:15, 6:10, my daughter sometimes before that. And now I beat them both up. I'm about, I'd say 10 to 6, 6:15. In fact, I even had a day where I was up at 5:30. And my wife asked me last week, she came downstairs and asked me what I was on. And I just said, I just think I have more energy, which again, I want to give you people that are struggling with the weight loss program that this is something that I haven't had for years. And I can tell you a couple quick stories even on that. The last couple years, whenever I go anywhere, I'd have to usually use a cane or some type of walking stick. And I actually got a walking stick last summer. And the farthest I could walk was maybe a half a mile with a walking stick. My wife tried to get me out at night just to exercise, and it was very difficult for me to do that. And a good friend of mine, again, I love the outdoors. We were down in Port Washington. We were going out on the break wall out to the lighthouse fishing for salmon because they were coming in. It's about a 3/4 of a mile walk. And walked out there, no problem. Wasn't really out of breath. We caught some salmon, which was awesome. I mean, that made the day even better. But now we had to carry these fish back, which we had a total of 6. One of the fellows out there gave us one of his fish. And we probably had, I would guess, 60 to 70 pounds additionally that we were bringing back. So my friend and I, and he's a smaller individual, he's not a big guy like myself, we walked back with these fish, and again, it's 3/4 of a mile. When I got back, I looked at him and I said, how long did I just walk? And he figured it was about 1.5 miles. And I looked at him and I said, there's no way last year I would have been able to do that. And I would have needed some assistance using the walking stick or a cane. And again, I just want to give and I know everybody will be different, but just for myself, the energy level that I've been able to do has been tremendous. Working outside just this past weekend was great. I was able to work 4 to 5 hours outside, standing, moving around. I would have never been able to do that last year. And going forward into this summer, living in Wisconsin, we have a lot of activities going around. Actually, there's 2 stories there. I love sailing. My father and my mother, they live on a lake, Lake Nagawicka. And again, being an outdoors person, I wanted to get back into sailing probably the last couple of years. And my wife said to me, and she was being very kind, that there's no way that I could get into sailing. Number 1, because of my size. Number 2, because of all of my injuries, moving around, stiffness, no energy, blah, 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 blah. Well, my daughter came back from her honeymoon, and she made a comment to me like one of the things that was included in their program, their kit when they went to Mexico was a Hobie cat, but they couldn't use it if they didn't know how to sail. Well, that's something I never really taught my kids how to sail, so I ended up buying a sailboat, and it wasn't a very, very expensive sailboat. It's one that I can teach both my daughters, and by the way, my daughters are in their middle 20s, but it's something I love, and I would like to try to teach them something that I learned when I was younger. So again, I would never be able to do that if I went back to last year or the year before. There's just no way. And then the other quick story is just to kind of give you an idea, again, talking about the summer, which is great coming up here. We've had a fantastic spring. I told my wife that she has to take off. She has a half a day on a Thursday, and I said, you better take off tomorrow too on a Friday. And she asked me why, and I said, well, because I'm going to keep you really busy, and I would have never been able to do this, but we're going to a Brewer game in the afternoon, and then we're going to Summerfest that night to see one of the concerts. And I hate crowds. I just hate them. But that's what I'm doing. I'm going to these crowds. Why? Because I just feel like I can fit in, and that's huge. I mean, again, that's like a wake-up call that you can now look in the mirror and go, you know what? I can kind of look to be a normal human being again. And that's just something that I'm going to try. We'll see. But again, it's in the mindset that I have is all positive. And again, going with that, I think what happens in this, and a lot of you maybe be able to relate to this, it's almost like I call it the fountain of youth, because I'm being able to wear clothes that I couldn't wear 30 years ago. I couldn't fit into these. Now I can. And all of a sudden, guess what? I can't run. I guess I could run if there was a fire going on, or somebody was chasing me. I probably could run a little bit, but I really haven't tried to run since I've had my knee replaced or my hip replaced. But I'm really thrilled that I can walk, I can ride a bike, and I don't get tired. I'm not as winded as I was. So what it's done is it's opened up a whole new world to me again, and I'm being able to do the things some of the things that I was able to do in my 20s and a little bit into my 30s. I'd say my late 30s on, that was tough because I was usually either on crutches, cane. I never was in a wheelchair, thank God on that. But again, I'm just trying to convey to you people out there that are thinking about joining the weight loss program here, or even maybe bariatric surgery. There's so many things that you've maybe gone for years and haven't been able to do. And I guess I just want to give you the hope that if you do this, those things can come about, which there's just a tremendous thing that you can do. And there isn't really a feeling that I can convey to you. It's just awesome that you can go back to when you were youthful and you just feel so much better.